What's up, crypto fam? It's Phantom. We're taking another look at the market. Sorry, I've been off the past couple days. Work's been crazy. The little dog here is here for the bullish momentum and support of the price action that we've seen today. So Bitcoin did some recovering. It's still bouncing off this trend line as it has since the end of 2020. If you follow the stream, you know we've covered it quite extensively. Um, so Bitcoin is just it's holding this trend line, this weekly trend line, and until we close below it, I will remain bullish. So yeah, I have quite a few news articles today, so I want to make sure I get through them. Um, the Fed came out with their interest rate hikes, which it's going up by 50 points. People, I think, were expecting a higher interest rate hike, so we saw a lot of bullish momentum after they announced that it was going to be 50 points. They are trying to come out and say that they understand that inflation is bad, but the economy is strong. It's kind of like the picture of the dog with the house on fire saying everything's fine. They know that there's bigger problems at hand, but even then, they're trying. They think that their strategy of telling people everything's fine is going to work. It seems an awful lot like the beginning of the last recession, where the banks were kind of handing out loans and writing checks that they couldn't cash, and people got in all kinds of trouble, and then the market and everything collapsed. I don't think we're at the collapsing point yet, but I think we are close to seeing our last hurrahs before some type of recession does hit. And I think the longer they kick the can down the road, the more painful it will be. So the first news article that I have is the Fed raising the interest rate 50 basis points in their May meeting. As expected by the markets, they raised the target range for the interest rate by 50 basis points at the meeting. New target range is 75 to 100. So instead of them doing like 75 all one whack, they'll just do 50-50, and they'll even it out. Just they'll make it slow, and uh, they want to make it purposeful. I can agree with the strategy. I don't think that everything is sunshine and rainbows like they continue to boast. Or the press release stated, although overall economic activity edged down in the first quarter, household spending and business fixed interest investments remained strong. So the household spending probably remains strong because everybody is trying to afford their heating and electricity bills that have gone through the roof. And streaming services are now more expensive than ever, and everything else is more expensive than ever. And really, people aren't getting paid much more. Obviously, the job market's doing okay with unemployment falling, but jobs aren't really coming out paying crazy increases or anything like that. So, yeah, inflation remains elevated, reflecting supply and demand imbalances related to the pandemic, the higher energy prices, which I just spoke of, and the broader price pressures. So I think that we see this slow and steady raise of the points until they get to a point where it kind of topples. I think that there's going to be one strong bull move left in the market, and after that happens, I think that we're going to come down like a ton of bricks, and I think that we may fall into a recession. I think the longer that they kick this can down the road, the more painful it's going to be long term. The second article that I have is there was $703 million in Bitcoin moved to cold wallets. So if you follow the stream, you know I've been following a lot of the whale buying at these levels. Even though they're taking losses and price hits as the market dips down slowly, painfully, there's a lot of money being invested into Bitcoin by huge entities, and they're moving all their Bitcoin to cold storage. So these are people that are planning on holding on to these investments for a period of time. And like I mentioned on the stream, people that are buying at these levels, that are moving them to the cold storage, they're not concerned about losing $1 million as the price of Bitcoin dips down. These are people that are going to be holding Bitcoin as a stored value. They're not ones that are looking to trade it to, make a 5%, 10% scalp on the market. These are people that are going to purchase Bitcoin at these levels, and if it dips down, they're going to hold, and they're going to ride it out probably for the 5-10 year hold, so that they can substantially increase their investment and then start making decisions on whether they want to start selling some of it or not. So I see this as very bullish. I see this as very large, intelligent investors gobbling up Bitcoin at this price, possibly because we have bottomed, and they don't see us going too much further into the 30K area. So I see this as bullish news. And one of the most bullish news articles that I found today is CBS News having concerns about a possible cryptocurrency crash. This came out just before the market turned around and skyrocketed. If there's ever a bearish indicator on any of the news agencies, NBC, CBS, that should, in my recommendation, obviously not financial advice, do your own research, but I found it very beneficial to counter trade the news agencies. They don't understand the cryptocurrency market. They try to treat it exactly like the traditional markets, and while we are coupled to the S&P, we're 24/7, 365, and they don't understand just how our market moves. So they warned that inflation adjustments could trigger a crypto crash. And as soon as they came out with the meeting about the adjustments, we shot up. And we're still climbing. We've been pushing to try to break through 40K. We just barely got through it at a high, but I mean, there's going to be a good chunk of resistance at the 40K region. We're going to hit resistance at the resistance blocks that I've outlined, but we're going to get there, fam. We're going to push through. I think as long as we don't close below this weekly trend line, I am 100% on board with the sideways movement. Even though it is painful, the longer we move sideways, I think the stronger move to the upside we have. So this pain will be relieved one way or another, either with more pain, or we have our biggest bull run that we've had so far. So there's two types of pain in the world, right? There's pain that hurts, and pain that alters. So sometimes, you go through a lot of pain and then things change. So that's my look at the market. That's my thoughts and suggestions. Obviously not financial advice, but I see a lot of bullish things happening, even though we are, very much moving sideways, and it's been painful for the past 2-3 months. But I think we're at the point where a lot of these RSI indicators, everything is getting into oversold territory. We've held our trend line. I think there's a lot of indicators lining up that we become bullish in the near future. So I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. I hope you have an even better Thursday. And I'll catch you in the next video. So until then, peace.